Hey everybody, it's Zach. Welcome back to the Heroverse. And guys, today we are officially going to be ranking all of the MCU movies. Guys, I'm super excited to be doing this. I've been wanting to do this for the longest time. And the fact that we're finally doing it today, I'm ready to do this. I got inspired to do it yesterday. I was talking to my bro Troy saying, like, I don't know really what to bring to the channel right now. I feel like I'm kind of stumped. I feel like not as much news has been coming out since D23 and San Diego Comic Con. So I was in a bit of a rut, and also I just recently did my Legends update tour video like a couple of weeks ago. I didn't know what to do, and I said, you know what? Let me go on a jog and let me figure it out. And then I started cooking up some ideas. I finally figured out how to do the tier list. I actually found this tier list template of all the Marvel movies and TV shows and all of kind of like the Fox movies, with like X-Men, Deadpool, and all the Spider-Man movies with Venom, the Venom movies, and also the upcoming ones like Venom, The Last Dance, Craven, and also like we have Madam Web on here. So we have like a whole bunch of different things. But today we are going to be ranking the MCU movies, and I want to do one ranking the Marvel Disney Plus shows, and that's including the Daredevil stuff now that that's canon. So like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Defenders, Punisher, all that's now canon to the MCU. So that's going to be a part of it. That's going to be a separate ranking. And then I want to rank the Fox movies with like X-Men, Deadpool. That will be one thing. And then I want to rank the Spider-Man movies. And I'm going to include like Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I'm going to include Morbius, Madam Web, Last Dance, and Craven, and and more. So that's going to be a separate video. So I'm really excited. This really is, pretty much, this is just gonna scratch the surface essentially of what we're gonna be doing. Like this is this tier list we can do it for a lot of different things. I know they have one for like Daredevil fights, like the best Daredevil fights tier list, which I would love to do that as probably one of those. Maybe add in a couple more that weren't on the tier list, add a couple of images on there, but that's an option. A Daredevil fight tier list of the best Daredevil fight sequences. I know there was one for like the best Daredevil characters tier list. So like I said, we can go as high as we want to with this. So I'm really excited. But without further ado, we have like columns here. We have peak, great, meh, bad, and really bad. I made these columns. So as you already know, to start off, we are starting with Captain America 1. And I love Captain America 1. Captain America 1 to me is peak. Captain America 1 is going on the peak category because this movie, I feel like this character connected to who I am, who I want to be, in terms of being the best person you can be, and just falling in love with the character of Steve Rogers, of just a kid from Brooklyn, you know what I mean, wanting to join the war. He wasn't physically capable of joining the war, but he had the heart to join the war. He wanted to fight the good fight, and just him, like, I mean, the sequences in that movie with him getting the shield for the first time, and kind of actually no, better yet, like him getting the serum for the first time, and kind of him running in through the streets, and kind of that was like the first debut of really Captain America, and him getting his vibranium shield for the first time, and we have that montage sequence. And I mean, come on, that ending when he wakes up, you know what I mean, in present day, and he says, I had a date. That sequence made me just like cry. You know what I mean? Like that sequence really got me emotionally and really just paved the way to going into the Avengers movie. Like, no, this is peak. This movie is peak for me. This movie I feel like is so underrated. I feel like a lot of people don't give Cap 1 in Thor, like Thor 1 enough credit. I feel like those are the most two underrated movies in the MCU. So yeah, Cap 1 is definitely getting a peak. This movie I can rewatch all the time. It has such a vibe. It's a great origin story that's going in peak for sure. Now we have Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, I really enjoyed the first time I watched it. Now over the years, I think I've just been like, it's all right. So I'm gonna give Captain Marvel a matte. I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's gonna go in the matte category. I wouldn't say it's bad. I would say there's really no, like, I don't even know if there's any really bad, because I have a really bad category. I don't even know if any Marvel movies are going to go into really bad. I think movies can go in the bad category, But if I'm being honest, I don't think Captain Marvel is on the bad category. If I'm being totally honest, I think it's just meh. Um, but like I said, now going on to the next one, we have Iron Man 1. Iron Man 1, of course, is going in peak. I mean, come on. Like, there's so many things I really love about this movie. And like I said, as much as people want to, I don't know if people can admit it or not, but like the first earlier on MCU movies, I think were pretty solid. Like, especially Iron Man 1, especially Cap 1, especially Thor 1. Those I think are the three best origin stories that I feel like are very underrated. Now, mind you, I think Iron Man 1 isn't as underrated as Cap 1 and Thor 1. I feel like those are the really underrated. Now, if you want to get real, I think Thor 1 is the most underrated. I think people don't give it credit where credit is due for that movie. So, like I said, I think Iron Man 1 is going on peak because, I mean, come on. What they were able to do with that first movie in the early 2000s was very impressive. I mean, this was a make or break for Marvel. So, if this movie didn't work, the MCU would not be where it is today. So, I mean, come on. Like, Robert Downey Jr. is essentially the godfather of the MCU. Like, he's the one that made the MCU run, essentially. He really is. And I mean, come on, like I just keep thinking about the sequence when he's in, of course, the cave with Jensen building the I guess like the first ever Iron Man suit. And then it kind of, there's sequences that I love, like the sequence where he is talking to Obadiah and he's eating the pizza, like Obi brings him pizza. Love that sequence. Like me and my sister always have like a talk about like when like show or movie food looks so good, and the pizza in Iron Man 1 looks so good. I mean, hell, the sponsorship by Burger King when he's eating the burgers when he first gets back from captivity in the cave, and he wants to kind of do a press conference of saying he's done with he's shutting down Stark Enterprises and stuff, the military part of Stark Enterprises, and he wants to kind of find out where the new path leads and where he wants to go, because he saw what his weapons could do in the wrong hands. That sequence, I mean, come on, the end fight sequence, or actually this first fight sequence, that's another great sequence where he has the official Iron Man suit on for the first time before it gets painted, Mark 1. Love sequences like that. It's so great. And I mean, come on, the final battle between him and Obadiah, really cool. I love that fight sequence, especially, I mean, it was so ahead of its time. I mean, with like the practicality of the actual suits that they built. The CGI was pretty ahead of its time at the time. I mean, that movie, I mean, it was groundbreaking. And that's one movie I feel like me and my sister can watch a lot is Iron Man 1. She can watch Iron Man 1, I think, a little bit more than rewatching Captain America 1, but I can rewatch both of these movies, like, all the time. Like, I think they're great. I think they have great rewatchability, these first two movies. But now going on to Iron Man 2. I think Iron Man 2, if I'm being completely honest, and this is kind of timeline order for these MCU movies, I think Iron Man 2, I would say, goes in. I think I'm going to say it goes in great. I don't know if I would say it goes in peak. I'm going to say it goes in great. Yeah, there are sequences I love in this movie, but I think it's not at the peak level. So I'm going to say Iron Man 2 is in the great. Mind you, I want to put it in the peak because of the race car sequence where he has the briefcase and he puts the briefcase on, and you just see how far Iron Man's tech has come since the first movie. I want to give it peak, and I mean the end fight sequence where he shows up, fights Whiplash, has to like fight War Machine because War Machine is taken over by Whiplash's kind of program, and Tony has to like unprogram him, so then they have to fight Whiplash's like kind of Iron Man bots. Like I love that the kill bots. Like that sequence is cool at the end, but like I said, I feel like the writing alone for that, I feel like Whiplash was kind of a dead villain, but I feel like the action gives it great, makes the movie so great, is the action sequences. So I don't think it's at the peak level because I mean the writing in both of these movies is what makes it peak with the action, but the writing in this movie wasn't the best. It was the action that made it so great, so it's going to go in the great category. But like I said, that's how that's going to go for that. Now going on to Incredible Hulk, I think that's a great story, and I think it's great action. I'm going to say Incredible Hulk is peak. Especially, I rewatched this movie, and I don't know why I hated it. Because it's like, I rewatched this movie, I want to say, in the past 2 or 3 years, I want to say. And wow, like, I think that this was the most perfect the Hulk could be. And we all know the shit show where the Hulk is at right now with Smart Hulk, and we don't really get Raging Hulk anymore. I'm gonna be honest, this was the perfect Hulk movie. It really was. Sometimes I keep bouncing back and forth. Do I think um can't remember his name. The dude that played Hulk in this movie and Bruce Banner. I think it was Edward Norton. Yeah, Edward Norton. I think sometimes I have this problem where I think Edward Norton does a better job than Mark Ruffalo. Sometimes I'm kind of at like a teetering who was better, and I sometimes I feel like Edward Norton had the best balance of Bruce Banner and also the Hulk. And I think he has the better Hulk in my personal opinion. So I don't know. I don't know. If I'm being honest, I think in terms of story, of really him on the run, him hiding from Ross, him not wanting to hurt Betty, him being found, the whole campus sequence where like Ross is trying to show Betty like this is the man that you love. He's a monster. Love that sequence. The fight in Manhattan where it's him versus in Harlem, him versus Abomination. I feel like it's going to the peak category because I'm being honest with you, I don't even know if we're ever gonna get a Hulk movie. I think might be the only Hulk movie we're gonna get, and if that's the case, I think that this is the best Hulk movie that that I feel like really can't be beaten. I feel like we got a lot of great things in here, and I don't know. I think it's gonna go to peak. I think it's grown on me. I remember when I was younger, I loved this movie, and then at a weird point, I just didn't like the movie. It might have just been following the word of mouth. I hate to say it, but at a young age, I felt like I was following everybody's word of it. Everybody saying it was bad, but I rewatched it, and I was like, "This movie isn't bad. What the hell was I talking about?" So it's going there. I really do love rewatching this movie, and I think this movie has a lot of rewatchability. I'm gonna turn on my fan because it's starting to get hot in here. So, excuse me for that, but I got a drink right here because my room gets pretty hot in the studio. So we should be good now. Hopefully, I might have to turn on the AC. Bear with me. Like I said, sit back, relax, get a cold drink, get a cold one. Whether it's a alcoholic drink, whether it's a Diet Dr Pepper. I got a Diet Pepsi today. I'm not a drinker, but a cold one for me is a Diet Dr Pepper, Diet Pepsi, Diet Mountain Dew, the usual. But yeah. So like I said, guys, I would say the Incredible Hulk goes to the peak. I mean, it's very underrated. You know what I mean? I feel like now, as of lately, it isn't though because people are all like, okay, we're never gonna get anything more peak than what we got in the with the Incredible Hulk in the 2000s. Like that was peak. Like that is the Hulk movie everybody wanted. And I think people are now realizing that with people like with villains coming back, like Ross now being Red Hulk in Brave New World, and also was it the leader coming back? I can't Tim Blake Nelson, I think that's his name, the dude that played the leader in Incredible Hulk, but now officially gets to play the leader, with his head being big and stuff like that, and him being green. I feel like now people are appreciating kind of the laying down the storytelling for a future project that they are now doing in Captain America: Brave New World with these characters. So I have more of appreciation for the Incredible Hulk movie, so it's going at peak. Now Thor 1 peak. Thor 1's peak. I love that introduction to this character. I think it's very underrated. I think just the overall sheer look and scope of Asgard, the colors of the golden statues in Asgard and everything. I think I just have a much appreciation for it. And just the storytelling of, Thor, him being this kind of this brute that just feels like he's better than everybody, and then he has to be humbled by, humbled, pretty much being sent to Earth without his powers of, you're not better than everybody, you need to learn to be a leader, and I'm going to send you down the Earth without your powers, so you learn, that you learn, there's a word for it, kind of learn, I can't think of the word, like learn, compassion. There we go, compassion and love. And him, the story with him and Jane, and him finding love with Jane, and kind of finding a love for, Earth and people, and not just feeling like, he needs to just think of people as little and think of him as above them. I loved that story. And just how emotional was that sequence in Thor 1 where he tries to get the hammer and just think he's just going to be able to grab it from the shield, headquarters, how they built the shield headquarters around the Thor hammer out in New Mexico, and he can't lift it up. That scene gets me every time when he's screaming at the air. It makes me cry. The music for that sequence hits me every time. And Heimdall sees, and it kind of like the reflection of him, being arrested, being walked out, and you see it in Heimdall's eyes because he's looking at Thor struggle through his learnings of, you know what I mean, of being a better person. I love that sequence. So, and I mean, the sequence at the end of the movie where it's Thor versus the Destroyer and him going to Asgard and it's him versus Loki. No, the movie's peak. Like the movie has some of the most great cinematography, some of the best cinematography in the MCU Thor 1 has. So for sure, I think it downgraded from like Ragnarok, from Dark World. I feel like Dark World still kind of had it, but when it hit Ragnarok, I hate that like the gray look that they had for Asgard. It didn't. It kind of bummed me out. But I guess in a story perspective, you could say it was because Odin was no longer in charge of Asgard. It was Loki, so it became very gray and eerie. And I kind of saw the tone Taika was going for. So I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I understand. The more I think about it, it's on the tone of what that movie was. But I just love the look of Asgard, and I love the story of in the introduction of Thor in this movie. So it's going to peak. It's going to peak. Um, Avengers 1, I want to put it at peak, but I'm gonna be honest. I think I don't know. I don't know. It's very hard for me because yes, it was the introduction to all these characters, and I think the story for that movie is really great. But when I watch the movie, I don't know. It just is very boring to me. I mean, the action sequences are great when they're great. I feel like it's really the end sequence that I find the movie great, is the very end of the movie. So I'm going to put it at great. I'm not going to put it at peak. It's going to great. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like I said, I rewatched it recently, and the beginning of that movie, I just felt really, really bored. I feel like I've seen it so many times where I'm just like, yeah, this movie just doesn't do it to me. And when you have a taste of Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War, it's just at great. I wouldn't say it's meh. I'd say it's at great. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna give it meh. I'm not gonna give it bad. It's at just a great. If I'm being personal opinion. Um, Dark World. I want to get. I wouldn't say Dark World's necessarily bad, but then again, I haven't watched this movie in forever. I'll give it meh. I'll give it meh because I haven't seen that movie in so long. I'm just gonna give it meh. But then again, I guess it's at the point that I never really watch it and never really go back to it. I don't know. I go back to Captain Marvel, I think, every once in a while, and I can sit and watch it, and then I can sit and watch Dark World. So maybe Dark Worlds get bad. I hate to do it, but Dark Worlds get bad. I feel like it's. I feel like it's just. I want to put it at meh. You know what? I'll put it at meh. If I put a Captain Marvel at meh, I could put Dark World at meh. If it's on, I'll watch it, but I'm just not like. I'll give it. I'll give it meh. I'll give it meh. That you guys can fight with me on that, but I'm gonna give it meh. It's in the teetering between meh and bad. Like I said, if it's on, I'll watch it. It's just not. It's nothing. It's just meh. Iron Man 3 has some great sequences. I love the idea of Iron Man gets humbled in this movie. He really does. Um, Story perspective, not the best. The idea of Iron Man getting humbled, yeah, I like that because he had some ego in this. He was not. He needed to be humbled. I think of just because the past came back to bite him in the ass. I mean, how he treated Aldridge, bit him in the ass. How he treated that girl, bit him in the ass. How he kind of treated Pepper in this movie, buying things and doing things that I feel like he really didn't like care about her feelings as much, and care about like how like the kind of like how he was kind of like he said he wanted to protect her in this movie, but he was just calling out people that were like bombing places, and he had no security at his house. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I like the humbling. I love the humbling of the story. The action, I don't know. The action doesn't hit as much as this. The action in Iron Man 2. If I'm being honest, I do love the suit coming to him though. But in terms of best action sequences, I'm giving it to meh. Giving it to meh. The action wasn't all that great. It's definitely not better than Iron Man 2. yeah, some people you could probably say, oh, what about all the suits coming up at the end of the movie? Me, when I was younger, yeah, I'd probably say it was better than Iron Man 2 at a younger age of just seeing it on the sheer scope of all the suits popping up and him doing, the what was it, the Christmas protocol or something like that. I can't remember what protocol it was, but yeah, if I'm being honest, the story is the only thing I feel like that could really give it something. The action I feel like is just but him saving the people from the plane falling, I feel like it doesn't beat Iron Man 2 action. It doesn't beat kind of the story of him finding out that his father loved him in Iron Man 2. Like, it just doesn't do it, so it's going to meh. I feel like it's like Dark World. I feel like when I really have these movies right next to each other, I'm like, wow, they're really like a lot alike. Just meh. They're going to meh. It's going to meh. Winter Soldier, you already know it's going to peak. You already know it's peak. Expect all the Cap movies to go to peak. Simple as that. Winter Soldier was groundbreaking. People still to this day say Winter Soldier has the best action. Still to this day. And we have Shang-Chi. Now we have movies like what is it? Like, because I'm trying to think of some other ones on the top of my head. We have some great action, but in terms of hand-to-hand, Shang-Chi was probably the only one that kind of reached the bar of like Winter Soldier. But some people even still say that Winter Soldier had better action than Shang-Chi. And it's like I somewhat disagree with that. Like, I love the action in Shang-Chi. It's very martial arts, and I'm a big martial artist fan, so yeah, I don't know. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like, people still say that is the best comic book movie in the MCU. People still say that's in people's top 3, like some people's top 5, top 10. It's there. Mainly like for people's top 5 and top 3, Winter Soldier's there. But like I said, for me, I mean, my jaw dropped to the floor the moment Cap dropped on the Lemurian Star and kicked that dude off the ship. My jaw dropped. Me and the whole audience probably, I think, gasped. Like, oh shit, this is who's this Captain America? Like, that just goes to show when Cap had the training, he did the research, he became a unit. At first, he just was getting used to his abilities. He now knows how to hone his abilities, and we saw that in Winter Soldier. I mean, come on, the Lemurian Star, the highway chase sequence is probably the best. It just kept getting better and better. It kept stacking on one another, the fight sequences. Winter Soldier's up there. I mean, the street fight sequence is my favorite fight sequence out of the 3 fight sequences in the movie. Between the Lemurian Star, street fight sequence between him and Winter Soldier, and then, of course, the end fight sequence where it's Sam, Bucky, Maria Hill, and Black Widow. Or Sam. It was Cap, Sam, Maria Hill, Nick Fury, and Natasha all trying to take out the helicarriers against, can't remember his name, of the villain of the movie, It's Gonna Kill Me, versus like Rumlow and Pierce, Secretary Pierce, there we go, and also Winter Soldier. I think that the villains in the movie were probably top tier villains. I think I love the espionage vibes. They're kind of going back to that in Captain America Brave New World, the street level espionage vibes. Love it. And the action is just top tier. I mean, when he is running through the bus, pops up the shield and is blocking it through the dude with the Gatling gun, runs towards him, flips him over and slams him on the car. I mean, come on. Peak. I shouldn't even have to explain myself if I'm being honest. You guys know this is peak. It's peak. It's there. Okay, but going on to Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy 1, I'm tempted to put it at peak. Because Guardians of the Galaxy 1, I find that I like it more than Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I love Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I might have to put it up in peak. But I'm going to put Guardians 1 at peak. I'm putting Guardians 1 at peak. The more I rewatch that movie, the more I find that I think I like that movie even more than the third movie, which is crazy. I'm putting Guardians 1 at peak. I mean, come on. Getting introduced to these band of misfits, loved it. I loved it. Getting introduced to Gamora, getting introduced to Thanos for the first time. I mean, come on. Like, fantastic. This paved the way to, you know what I mean, of the villain of Thanos. Like, this paved the way. Loved it. Loved this movie. Even I find that I enjoy Peter Quill more in this movie than I think in other movies. I think I enjoy him a little bit more in the third movie than the second movie. But yeah, I just love the sheer look of this movie. This was kind of like the first MCU movie where we got to actually explore space. The soundtrack of this movie, really, I felt like I cared more about Peter. I feel like in the first movie of kind of finding out who this character was than I did in the second movie. I don't know. I just find that the first movie is just peak. And just, getting introduced to, I feel like Groot never got more peak than he did in the first movie. I feel like he was just a kid in the second movie. He was just a teenager kind of in kind of teenager slash, I'd say early adult in like Guardians 3. I don't know. I just feel like in Ronan, I feel like Ronan was a damn good villain. I feel like him portraying Thanos in the first movie was cool. I love the look and scope. I feel like they never achieved that look going on to the second movie and going on to the third movie. There was a look that the first Guardians had that I just love. It's going to peak. It's going to peak. Guardians 2. Guardians 2, I'm going to give great. I'm not going to say it's meh. I'm just going to say it's on great. I don't think it's better than the first one. I'm just going to give it great. Even though there's some funny sequences in that movie, and great's not bad. Like I said, great's good. So, yeah. I mean, come on. When Rocket gives Taserface multiple funny names, like, he's like, what was your second choice? Scrotum hat? Like, that shit had me cracking up in the theater. I remember crying because I thought it was super funny. He said, you know what'd be a real kick-ass name? Taserface! And he starts laughing, and then the one dude starts busting out with the big goggles and the big bug eyes on the Ravager squad. Had me cracking up. Like, I love that sequence. Super funny. Like I said, doesn't beat what they did in the first Guardians movie. I mean, come on. The whole team gathering together, love it. I love it. But it's on great. It's on great. I put it on par with great. Age of Ultron, I think, is very slept on. I'm going to put Age of Ultron. It's very slept on. I think it's better than the first Avengers movie. I'm putting it at peak. I'm putting it at peak. Sue me. I'm sorry. The more I keep watching Age of Ultron, the more I appreciate it. I think James Spader's Ultron is actually very underrated in terms of the villains. I think he gave like a very, like, kind of like a poet. Like, he was very, very, like a poet vibes that James Spader did with Ultron. Like I see a world. Like, it was very, very eerie and Ultron-y. I'm sorry. And I mean, come on. Getting introduced to the twins, Pietro and Wanda? No. Peak. I mean, come on. The sequence where, like, his, like, one of Tony's not Ultron bots, like, I forget what they're called. His, like, Iron Man bots, the Legion. One of his Legion bots comes stumbling in, and we find out it's Ultron. And then there's a big fight sequence, piece of our time, and they fly in, and, like, the Avengers are fighting these Ultron bots out of their gear. And I love the scene where Clint throws the Cap shield and says, "Yo, Cap!" And he, like, picks it up, throws it at the Ultron bot, and slices it in half. Love that sequence. No, it's underrated. I mean, it's very, very underrated. And that set the path going into Civil War. So if you really want to put it on perspective, this movie made Civil War. Without this movie, we would not have gotten where Civil War was going. Like, we wouldn't have done it. Like, that was the last straw that really set the accords. So, it's going on peak for me. It's going on peak. Ant-Man 1, I really enjoy. I would even say a little bit more than I think Ant-Man 2. I definitely think Ant-Man 1 and 2, I think, are better than Ant-Man 3. The more I keep thinking about it, I think the Kang of it all kind of clouded me a little bit, and I'll admit that now. I still like Quantumania. I like the Quantumania idea of exploring a different universe. I like that part of Quantumania, the look of Quantumania. I loved Kang as a villain, but I'm gonna be honest, that's not enough. Where I think it's the third movie is better than Ant-Man 2 and 1. So if I'm being honest, because I'm trying to think in my head of, like, I feel like I rewatched Ant-Man 1. I think I know I watch it more than Quantumania. Now, do I watch it more than Ant-Man 2? I don't know. All I know is that I think that Ant-Man 1 and Ant-Man 2 could go to great, in my personal opinion. I'm going to give it great. Did not mean to Guardian. No, Guardian. Where was Guardians? Did I say Guardian 2's on great? Yeah, Guardian 2's on great. I'd say it's on great. Nah, yeah, Guardian 2's on great. It's on great. So I'm gonna give. Yeah, I'm gonna give. Actually, I'm kind of going out of order here. Am I going out of order here? Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not. I moved them out of the way. Sorry, guys. I didn't see that I switched the places. So I had this here, this here. So yeah, I'm gonna give Ant-Man 1 great. I wouldn't say. Actually, you know what? The story of the introduction to him. It's a great origin story. I'm giving it peak. And though the fight sequences between him and Yellow Jacket I thought were so fun, I'm giving it peak. I'm giving it peak. I'm gonna give it peak because I love the look of it and I love being introduced to Scott. I love it. I'm gonna give that peak. I think Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm gonna give great. I'm gonna give great for that because I like Ant-Man and the Wasp. Civil War peak. Civil War's peak. I mean, come on. The Russo brothers made the best Captain America like trilogy of all time. Of all time. And they went to go off to do Infinity War and Endgame. I mean, come on. And they're back now for Kang Dynasty. Or not Kang Dynasty, for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars? No, come on. Come on, bro. It's peak. I mean, come on. The way, what this movie did, and it made us choose sides, for me, I was already a Cap fan. Going from Cap 1 to then Winter Soldier, I mean to Avengers, to then Winter Soldier, to then this, or to then Age of Ultron, and then Civil War, it was already made up on my mind that in Civil War, I mean, in Age of Ultron, I was like, I really don't like Tony. He didn't even ask the Avengers, didn't even like gather the team together to ask to even make, artificial intelligence, even ask to make Ultron. He just took it upon himself because Wanda got in his head. I was like, no. I was like, I don't like how, especially when they talked, him and Tony in Age of Ultron, that sequence set the way for Civil War. It set the path where they just did not see eye to eye. And I'm going to be honest, this was easy for me to choose Cap's side. I thought even though Bucky killed Iron Man's parents, I was like, that wasn't Bucky. He was brainwashed. You don't get a right just to go after him and kill him. It wasn't him. It was not him. I understand at the time, yeah, he probably had a right to just of pure anger to go after Bucky, but he should have realized this was not you. I can't kill you. Like you know what I mean? It wasn't you. You know what I mean? The people that really need to be held responsible were technically Hydra. So if wants to go after someone, he's got to go after Hydra. I thought that was a little bit of bullshit. It's like, use your head. Like, yeah, you can go attack him at first, but there had to be a point where you realize, okay, it was not you. I'm angry, but you were just a missile someone guided. You know what I mean? Like, I need to go after the person that's actually was guiding this missile. You know what I mean? That brainwashed you and put you in the direction. Like, I need to go after the person that set you on that path of doing that. Because it was not you. You weren't there. It was Hydra. I was so angry at Tony. I'm like, yeah, I understand. You're angry because he killed your mom, but it wasn't him. And it's like Tony, it wasn't registering with Tony when Cap's like, it wasn't him, dude. Stop it. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't him. It's not, doesn't mean that what he did wasn't, was right, but like, it wasn't him. So I was on Cap's side the entire way through. I'm like, Tony, I always laughed at it. Like, I find it ironic, Tony, that you're showing up with Ross saying that, oh, the Avengers need to be put in check when you caused, Sokovia. You did that. You did that shit. The Avengers didn't do it. You did it. And even the girl in the beginning of Civil War said, you need to be held responsible, Stark. You did this. And then he's all like, oh, he gets in his feelings and maybe, we need to be put in check because I killed this woman's son. Yeah, you did that. The Avengers didn't need to be put in check. You need to be put in check. Simple as that. And it's like Tony never learned from that ego, I feel like. Even from Iron Man 3, it's like he still, I feel like never really learned. Sometimes I feel like there was regressing for him. You know what I mean? Sometimes I felt that way. So, I don't know. Like, him walking in there, I was like, I'm not on your side, dude. I think it was just Iron Man bias that people just wanted to be on Iron Man's team. People were all like, they weren't even thinking at it from a perspective of who was actually in the right there. People just wanted to take Iron Man's side. They were glazing. Simple as that. It's Iron Man glazers. They want to glaze Iron Man even though Iron Man does wrong shit. They can never admit it. Like, do I think it was right that Cap, and I can admit this, do I think it was right that Cap didn't tell Tony that my friend killed your parents even though it really wasn't my friend, he was brainwashed? Do I think that was right? Hell fucking no. I think Cap should have told Tony. He'd be like, I wanted to tell you because I found this out. The Winter Soldier killed your parents. My best friend killed your parents, but he was brainwashed and he did not know that he was doing that. He needs to be put in check, but it was not him. Do I think you should kill him? Fuck no. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like Tony should like Steve should have said, do I think you should kill my friend or go after my friend? No. Do I think we need to get him unbrainwashed? Yes. You know what I mean? It's like even T'Challa, and this is in the same perspective. Like T'Challa thought Bucky was the one that killed his father. He found out, no, actually it was somebody else that guided him that kind of made it look like he killed my father. When in reality, it was Zemo. Did he kill Zemo? No. Zemo went to prison. But Zemo was had his own choices, made his own choices, and was not brainwashed. But still, T'Challa said, you're going to prison. Didn't kill him, put him to prison. Iron Man didn't think that way. He was so hot-headed, he just went in trying to kill Bucky when it wasn't Bucky that did it. It was the Winter Soldier. He was brainwashed. I mean, I shouldn't even have to explain this. You guys get the drift. Like, Iron Man was in the wrong. He shouldn't have done what he did. And like I said, when he said my father made that shield, Cap put that shit down. He's like, fine, your father made it. I want to respect your father. Shield's gone. I don't need the shield. You know what I mean? I don't think what you're doing is right of going after him trying to kill my best friend. Like I said, what he did was wrong, but it wasn't him. Like I said, Cap, on the moral standpoint, usually does what's right. Like I said, the one thing he didn't do right was not telling Tony that the Winter Soldier did kill his parents. He should have gave Tony the right to kind of choose, what to do. Like I said, you know what I mean? And let him decide what he wanted to do. But yes, I don't think it was wrong for Cap to defend Bucky and trying to stop Tony from killing Bucky. Because also Cap knew that Tony would regret killing Bucky, because he would then know, knowingly, eventually, he would know that what he did was wrong, killing Bucky, when Bucky wasn't the one that really did it. He was brainwashed, so he killed an innocent man. So that's why Cap was even defending him, trying to block his shots to take out Bucky and from Tony killing Bucky's, because he knew at the end of the day, Tony would regret killing someone that was used and brainwashed and, you know what I mean, as a weapon. He would regret it. So I've always been on Team Cap. So I love this movie. I love what it did. It set the way for Infinity War. It's peak. I mean, come on. Even the chase sequence, my favorite sequence of the movie is the chase sequence when it's Cap trying to protect Bucky, running away from the kind of SWAT team and running away from Black Panther. Love that sequence. It's a whole chase sequence down in the tunnels. Love that sequence. I used to reenact that sequence with my friend, where it'd be the three of my friends and I'd outrun my friends because I'm a fast runner. And I used to think I was Cap. I used to outrun my friends. I was thinking I was Cap. Love that sequence. I remember, sorry about that, guys. I have a cough. I remember that sequence when we got out of the theater. It was like my third watch of the movie, and I saw it with my friends. Because the first few times I saw it with my sister and my brother. But we got out of that theater and we started just booking down the street. And I was like, I'm Cap. See you, suckers. I was running. So it was funny. But in my version, I was faster than all them, because I think Cap should have been faster than Bucky. It just made no sense to me that Bucky was booking it and Cap got in the car. That never made sense to me. But the standpoint made sense, sort of. Like, oh, Bucky get in the car, we'll drive away. Made sense. Cap was smart on that. Like, maybe I can, de-escalate the situation by getting Bucky into the car and we'll drive off somewhere. It made sense if you really think about it, sort of. But I thought that it didn't make sense because Cap should have been faster than Bucky. But it is what it is. I don't know. It's still peak. Love that sequence. Favorite sequence. Black Widow. Now, Black Widow, like I said, I have not rewatched this movie. Super-wise, I heard you rewatch this movie because of the sheer hype of the Thunderbolts trailer, and the vibe of the Thunderbolts trailer reminded you of what they kind of did in the Black Widow movie. I need to rewatch this movie. I remember when I first saw this movie, I thought it was just meh. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was meh. So I'm going to give it meh. To be honest, it could move up to the great tier when I rewatch it. I don't know, but I'm going to give it meh. I'm just going to give it meh. I don't think it was bad. I'm just going to give it meh, if I'm being totally honest with you. Like I said, a lot of you guys could disagree with me on the fact that maybe Captain Marvel you think it should be in the bad tier. You think Dark World should be in the bad tier. You know what I mean? Maybe, I feel like maybe you can, I would respect that if you think Captain Marvel and Dark World should go the bad. And Iron Man 3 and Black Widow should go the meh. The more I'm thinking about it, I'm sort of tempted to put them both in the bad tier, but I don't really think that they're bad. I just think that they're meh. Especially Captain Marvel, I don't think is all that bad. If anything, I'd put Dark World in bad. If I really had to choose one in that column, I think Dark World would be going to bad because I find myself really sometimes enjoying rewatching Captain Marvel. So, like I said, especially after how much I love the Marvels, that's going. Just wait to where I put that. You guys can't already know where I'm probably gonna put that. But yeah, Black Panther peak. Black Panther 1 is peak. The score, the sheer look of Wakanda. That was the first time we really got a full look at Wakanda, and it wasn't all like foggy, and we just saw the statue like we did at the end of Civil War. This is our first time seeing Wakanda, and I love the soundtrack with Kendrick Lamar. And I mean, come on, "Pray for Me" by was it The Weeknd? Love that song, and with Kendrick, you know what I mean? That like that collab, love it. I love that. Love the soundtrack. Love the score. Love the story of kind of T'Challa having the right have to rewrite the wrongs of his father, of setting the right path and being a better leader than the choices that his father made before. And it's funny because in the beginning of the movie, he really had high praise of his father until he found out that his father killed his brother. Didn't let his brother's son come into Wakanda, and that led him to turn into a villain, and turned him into becoming bitter of what I mean, of him having to live through the real world of experience of racism. And I just love that story. I love the story of kind of T'Challa having to right the wrongs of his father, having to rewrite the wrongs of his father. I love that. So it's going to peak for sure. Like, it's going to peak. Spider-Man Homecoming, I find so boring. So I honestly want to give it meh. I find it so boring. I feel like sometimes I just can't sit down and rewatch that movie. So I don't know. I want to give it meh. I think I'm gonna get, but Far From Home, I think I want to give meh more than Homecoming. I don't know. That's a hard one for me. I'm really trying to think. I'm really trying to think here. I like Vulture though. I loved Vulture as a villain way more than Mysterio. All right, I'm gonna give it great. I'm gonna give Spider-Man: Homecoming great only because I loved Vulture as the villain way more than I like Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. I love the sort of spectacular Spider-Man vibes they were kind of going for in Spider-Man: Homecoming. So I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it great. Doctor Strange peak. These first introduction movies to a lot of these characters are getting peak. Doctor Strange, I can rewatch all the time. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but Doctor Strange, one, has so much rewatchability, it's not even funny. And him being humbled, I mean, come on, like, him thinking he was the better surgeon, the better dude, him, having to make sacrifices with Christine, of him kind of becoming the ancient one. You know what I mean? He became the kind of the the leader, the sorcerer supreme. He became the sorcerer supreme. He became the one looking over the minds, they're not mind stone, the time stone. Like him, he really had to be humbled in that movie and you know what I mean, to kind of become the person he was supposed to become. So I love the introduction to this movie. I love the look of the movie. I think it looks, it sucks. I don't want to say it looks better than Multiverse of Madness, because Multiverse of Madness has such a Sam Raimi look that I love. But yeah, this is going to peak. Just great story, great action, especially the action sequence where it's Strange and he's fighting all of Caecilius's goons throughout the different sanctums. Love that. I love that sequence. So I'm giving it peak. It's going to peak. Love it. Thor Ragnarok. Here's what I found. Okay, that was Siri on my watch. But Thor Ragnarok, it's going to peak. Thor Ragnarok peak, and mind you, this column's getting big, but Thor Ragnarok is peak. Love the score. There is a score that someone made where it's the Thor Ragnarok opening title sequence going into the mixing with the Thor. Mixing with the Loki green theme. I think that's what it's called, or the Loki that dun 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 dun. Maybe that's not called the green theme. Maybe it's the other one that's called the green theme. But like the iconic Loki theme, like the end credit theme, mixed with that. Love it. I have to like put it up on the community tab. I think it's made by, I can't remember his name on the top of my head. Made by, what's his name? It's a dude that always mixes themes together, and I can't remember his name on the top of my head, but I'm gonna put it on the community tab later tomorrow because this video is dropping tomorrow, so I'm gonna put it up later tomorrow. I'll put it up on the community tab tomorrow. But yeah, love it. Love the score. Love being on Sakaar. I mean, him fighting the Hulk. You know, and like it was very. And also, this is kind of a take on the comic of what is it? Of World War Hulk. That's just kind of like a take on World War Hulk, this movie. So I really loved this movie for that. Like a take on World War Hulk, a take on this was when Thor really started to get like a new take on Thor. This is when Thor started really getting cool to me, when he started cracking jokes and he wasn't so serious all the time. I think Love and Thunder kind of pushed it too much a little bit, but this was the perfect balance of serious but also funny, but also great visuals with also, you know, a great score. Love this movie. Now the thing I don't love about this movie is just the gray look of Asgard. I'm not a fan of that, but I know why they did it, to bring in those colors of like the fireworks at the end, or like the sheer colors of, you know, the portal opening up to Asgard. They called it, I think they called it the anus or the devil's anus. I can't remember what the hell they called it. The portal that they went through to get back to Asgard, Valkyrie, Thor, and Bruce. I think that's what they called it, to fight Hela. But Hela, top tier villain. I want to do like a villain category. That would be very fun for all the Marvel villains. But great villain. I mean, come on. Was it? Not Kate. I want to say Kate. Is it? Yeah, Kate Blanchett, I think is her name, right? Kate Blanchett. Yeah, she plays Hela. I think I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. But she's such a great villain. Love her. You know what I mean? So yeah, Thor Ragnarok, definitely going there. Ant-Man the Wasp, like I said, I want to put at great. I love Ant-Man the Wasp. I don't think it's at peak level, but I think it's at great. I'm going to put it that great. I thought Ghost was a damn good villain. I thought she was pretty cool. And I love the idea that Ghost is coming back in Thunderbolts. So yeah, I love that movie. I never thought it was on a mad tier. What? How the fuck did Black Widow get here? Guys, I think I jumped the gun on Black Widow. Or was Black Widow the next one I kind of moved up by accident? Because I didn't mean to put Black Widow on meh. Yeah, maybe I did, because I need to rewatch it. What am I talking about? Sorry, guys. I'm like kind of all over the place. It's early when I'm filming this, just so you guys know. But going on to Infinity War, peak. I mean, come on. Peak. But what they did in this movie, guys, the sheer adrenaline I got watching that movie in the theater, and just, I'm gonna tell you that when the trailer came out, when the official trailer came out for this movie, I was in school. I was in study hall. It was first period study hall. When I tell you, when I watched this trailer, I got up out of my chair and screamed, "Let's go!" I was like, let's freaking go! And it was the moment where Cap was stopping Thanos' hand, the gauntlet. I screamed. I said, let's go! That's why Cap is the best! I was like, let's go! And even at that moment, I know a lot of people were kind of like, that's bullshit. Cap shouldn't have been able to stop Thanos' hand, especially when he had the gauntlet. It's the sheer will that Thanos was taken aback, like, holy shit, he just doesn't stop. It's the drive of never giving up that Thanos is like, oh my god, like, I've never seen that before. Usually when I take people out, they want to stay down or they're just dead. This dude, on the other hand, his will is impressive. I can respect it. That's what it was. It was the will of Cap never stopped. He wanted the smoke. He knew what was at stake. Thanos respected that. That's what people didn't understand. And even Thanos was impressed by his strength. That was not just his will, but his strength. He was impressed. You can't deny it. Like, he even had respect for Stark, but Stark got down. Cap kept going. Like, he had mad respect for Cap at that moment. And look who... I don't even have to bring up at the end of Endgame. Who kept going? That's what I'm talking about. So Infinity War, I even say, is better than Endgame. I know a lot of people might think I'm crazy for that, but I think Infinity War is better than Endgame. I think that the adrenaline, I love it's just and why you ask, you guys might ask, I think it's just the pure adrenaline of everybody trying to like gather together to take on this big bad. It's like the moment where, like, again, when Hulk gets sent down to the Sanctum and then says to Wong and Strange, Thanos is coming, he's coming, and he's kind of going out of the Hulk form. Me and my sister get chills every time that sequence plays. And then kind of, the team being separated. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, the best sequence of the movie is when Cap shows up to save Wanda and to save Vision. And not just by himself, but when he shows up with Natasha and when he shows up with Sam. That is the coolest sequence of all time. I get chills, I get excitement, and the Avengers theme plays when he walks out after he catches Proxima Midnight's staff. They were pretty much saying the man has arrived. They pretty much said that. The man, the myth, the legend, the bearded warrior has arrived. Best sequence of all time. Best sequence of all time. That movie alone, that sequence alone, makes the movie, I feel like, better than Endgame. There's a feeling I get of that sequence. And then it going into Wakanda, Sam, Natasha, Bruce, Wanda, Vision, Rhodey. I'm probably missing some other people on the top of my head. But when they all are going to Wakanda to protect Vision and they are taking the fight there with the Outriders. And also, I think that I love the look, the bearded look for Cap. I love that look. It's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite looks of Captain America. The bearded look. I love that look. So Infinity War is peak, for sure. I mean, another film created by the Russos, going off of Civil War, or actually going off of Winter Soldier, going off of Civil War, and then going off of that. I mean, they were back-to-back hits, for sure. I mean, I think we all can agree on Cap has the best trilogy in the MCU. And I feel like I want to connect the Infinity War and Endgame because essentially it feels like it's still his movies. He's at the forefront. I feel like they're still a part of his trilogy. I feel that way sometimes. Endgame, come on. Come on. And you already knew. Endgame going to peak. Alone. Him getting Mjolnir, finally, Cap. I jumped out of my seat and I was punching the air. I don't know if anybody else was doing that, but once I saw the hammer hover, I got up out of my seat and I screamed. I was like, ah! I was like, let's go. I was like, I kept moving around. I don't know if anybody does that, but the Russo brothers are the only people to make me move around in my seat when a fight sequence is happening. I did it in Winter Soldier with the highway fight sequence between Winter Soldier and Cap. I was moving in my chair. I was doing all the fight moves. When that sequence happened, when he got the hammer and ran up towards Thanos and started doing shit to him, I was doing it. Not anybody in the back could tell me to sit the fuck down at that moment. It was an event. It was like I was watching a UFC fight. I was jumping up and down. I was fighting. And come on, peak. And also, this movie Endgame redeemed the Captain America suit that was in Avengers 1. I did not like the Cap suit in Avengers 1 because I did not like the helmet. It made the suit look ugly as shit. Now, without the helmet, I thought the suit looked good, especially battle damaged. But the Russos redid the suit. Fun fact, Chris Evans said that the Avengers 1 suit is his least favorite suit. His favorite suit is the Winter Soldier suit. So, knowing that the Russo brothers knew that, they not only brought back the Winter Soldier suit in the beginning of the movie when they go fight Thanos again to get back the stones, to retrieve the stones, but they also give him the Cap 1 suit back from Avengers 1 and redid the suit to make subtle tweaks that I don't know if a lot of you guys have noticed, but there are subtle tweaks to that Cap 1 suit from Avengers 1 that like the color's a little different, the fabric is a little different. It looks a lot better, especially when he had the helmet on. When he was fighting the Cap from that time that actually had the helmet on, it wasn't that oval shape. It was actually a round shape. It looked a lot better. So that suit is definitely on the peak tier for me now. I wouldn't say that previously, but since the Russo brothers changed it, so Chris Evans would like it for the comfortability and just for the sheer look of it. I love it. I love that suit now. So peak. This movie's peak. I love rewatching this movie. I think I like watching Infinity War a little bit more than I like rewatching Endgame, but still, I love those movies peak, without a doubt. Now, Shang-Chi, you already know. If you guys were a part of my channel when promotion started for Shang-Chi, I promoted the shit out of this movie. Shout out to Superwise because me and him promoted this movie like crazy. We were probably the ones that promoted the movie. I want to say a little bit more than Marvel. We were on this shit. We were promoting like crazy. The only other movie I can think of that me and him promoted like crazy is probably this movie and The Batman. We promoted those movies like crazy. We posted a lot. We posted everything. I love Shang-Chi. Peak. Without a doubt. Peak. I don't even need to like think about it. Peak. It's on there. It's there. Peak. Now, Spider-Man Far From Home, I'm saying is just great. I'm saying it's just, I'm like, what to say? It's just great. No, it's going to meh. It's going meh. It's meh. Spider-Man Far From Home is meh. The only reason I say that is because I find myself very bored. And especially with the Mysterio thing, because I knew he was bad from the get-go. I don't even know why they tried to make it look like he was good. We know, if people know the comics, you know Mysterio's bad. So when he tried acting good, I was like, I know he's bad. When I found out he was bad, I was like, I know he's bad. What are they trying to pull with me here? So it's just meh. I think Homecoming might be better than Far From Home, in my personal opinion. I just find the vacation shit boring. Especially, I hate how Spider-Man wants to go on vacation. I hated that. So boring. The only part I would say that gives this movie a subtle, like, oh, I'm gonna give it an edge, is at the end of the movie, where he finally is swinging in New York like Spider-Man, texting the MJ on his phone like Spider-Man. Him at that point of the movie wanting to be Spider-Man. That is the only good part about that movie. So it's going to meh. It's going to meh. Meh. I'll watch it. It's not terrible, but it's going to meh. It's not. I wouldn't say it's bad. I'm just saying it's on meh. It's on meh level for sure. Like I said, if I'm giving anything a bad level, it's probably Thor: Dark World, which I'll put here. I'll put Thor: Dark World here just because. Yeah, I feel like that we can all probably agree that that's probably there out of these ones. Like I said, I have to rewatch Black Widow. That could possibly go to bad. I don't know. I only watched it once, but I wouldn't say Spider-Man Far From Home is bad per se. I would say it's at a meh, which is kind of in between. It's kind of in between of me saying it's bad, but yeah, like meh. I'll watch it. Dark World, probably I wouldn't really watch it again, but these ones I probably would watch again if they're on. Now going on to Eternals, I like Eternals a lot, so I'm gonna give Eternals peak. I'm giving Eternals peak, and I know a lot of you guys might disagree with me on that, but I love Eternals for the sheer scope, for the visuals, for the idea of that these characters have been here since, like, before, like, water was created, or, like, you know what I mean? Like, before, like, structures were created, and that the Celestials built them. I love the idea of that. I really do. I'm really bummed that they're not going to do an Eternals 2. Really bums me out. I hope we get to see these characters again in some shape or form. Or some shape or fashion. I don't know what the fucking wording is for it, but I hope we get to see these characters again. I'm saying peak. I like rewatching this movie. I like the look of this movie. I love what they were trying to do with this movie. I mean, come on. This movie alone, whether you disagree with me on everything out on the visuals or disagree with me on anything else, this movie made it possible where we're getting Vibranium in Brave New World. Which means we're getting Wolverine. So without this movie, we wouldn't be getting Vibranium. We wouldn't be getting, like, kind of the core story, because the celestial being of Tiamat is the surrounding story of Brave New World. So we wouldn't be getting that movie. It's going to peak. If you really want to put it into that perspective, this movie's got to get peak because it is creating one of the coolest movies of all time with Red Hulk, Vibranium, or not Vibranium, Adamantium, us getting introduced possibly to a Weapon X program by the end of the movie as a post-credit. Never know. Peak. But I'm saying I'm saying it just because of that. I'm saying it because of the visuals, the idea of that these characters have been here since, like, the dawn of the creation of Earth, of, like, the first kind of, you know, people on Earth. Love it. I love it. I do. And the reasoning that they didn't interact with Thanos or didn't like they couldn't interact is because the Celestials wouldn't let them unless deviants were involved. I love that idea. I thought it was a damn good excuse why they couldn't do what they could do. I like that idea of that there are people that were here at the dawn of Earth, like heroes. I love that. It's going to peak. Sorry, guys, if you disagree, you disagree, whatever. No Way Home, peak. Peak. No Way Home is only getting peak, though, because it paved the way where Peter got that with great power comes great responsibility and made him become the Spider-Man that we've all been waiting for. Like, this was his origin. The 3 movies led to this movie, so him to get that speech from Aunt May with great power comes great responsibility. And the fact that Toby and Andrew came back with his roster of villains to kind of have Peter have that speech from Aunt May for him to get his origin story, to him to get his full circle moment to become the Spider-Man we all know and love, that we're hopefully going to see not messed up in Spider-Man 4, it's going peak. I mean, this was nostalgia, but if nostalgia the right way, for him to kind of learn that with great power comes great responsibility through Aunt May wanting to help these villains where Peter just wanted to throw them back, whether they got killed or not. Peak. It's going peak, for sure. And I guarantee you guys agree with me now in the comment section below. So, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I love the look of this movie. I rewatched this movie. I wouldn't say it's in meh. I would say it's in great. I wouldn't say it's peak. I wouldn't say it's in meh. I wouldn't say it's bad. I would say the visuals alone, and this movie's setting up the multiverse, going off of Loki and really expanding on the multiverse side of things. Because again, this movie is the blueprint for us getting Doomsday. Or was the blueprint actually for us getting Doomsday, for us getting Secret Wars. I'm giving it that. I'm giving it peak. I know you guys, not a lot of people love Multiverse of Madness. I'm not putting it in the B category. Great is good. Met is at the teetering of becoming bad, but watchable. And really bad is like, fuck that. It's shit's trash. It's going there. Like, essentially, for you guys to get the gist. It's going great. It's not going peak. It's going great. But this is setting up a lot. That's why it's going great. And the visuals, I love Sam Raimi, how he came back. This is opening the door of Sam Raimi working with Spider-Man again in some way, whether that be in Secret Wars where maybe he gets to actually interact and maybe like talk to, like do stuff with Tobey's Spider-Man or direct his Spider-Man. I don't know, or maybe do another Spider-Man project down the line. This just opens the door where I'm just so grateful that Sam Raimi got to come back. This movie has this stamp of his directing, the way he films. I love it. I just love the visuals in this movie. It's getting great, for sure. Wakanda Forever, not even a debate. It's going peak. I know this movie, a lot of people don't like how they didn't recast T'Challa, and a lot of people thought it was disrespect. I don't know why people think this. I know a lot. I hate to say it, I'm calling a lot of you guys out. When I say this, you'll know who you are. But there are a lot of people out there that think having it where he died from an illness in the movie, it was disrespectful. I didn't think so. I think a lot of people thought it'd be less disrespectful to see T'Challa die in battle. That's disgusting to me. You know who you are. That I don't agree with you on that take, and I find it disgusting that you guys would rather have sit through T'Challa being murdered in battle than dying from an illness. Just think about that for a minute. Doesn't sound too good, does it? You want to watch a hero being murdered in battle than just watching him die from just an illness that it makes it grounded, but also that happens to people. That's fucked. I don't want to watch him die in battle because it wouldn't be believable and that would just be horrible to watch. I'm glad that they went the route that they did, because also they're going how really a grounded story on how they weren't able to, we weren't able to save Chadwick because there wasn't a cure for what he had. We weren't able to save T'Challa because there wasn't a cure for what he had, even in the movie. It made sense. And if I'm being honest, I think just recasting him would have been disgusting to me. I don't like the idea of doing it for him I thought that was, you just can't do it. I just cannot see anybody else being Black Panther, but they made it in a way where it respects his character, respects Chadwick by passing the torch to him and Nakia's son, which they named T'Challa. So the character T'Challa gets to live on through their son. Ryan Coogler could not have figured out a more perfect way to respect Chadwick, but also respect the character of T'Challa and also the role of Black Panther than to pass it to their son in the movie of them calling him T'Challa. Letting that character live on through his son is so respectable, and the fact that people don't think that, you're whack. I'm sorry. You're whack ass take. I'm all about spreading love, positivity, and motivation, but that's the most whack ass take that I think any of you guys could have had. You know who you are. I love the people I am calling out, but it was whack that you guys thought you wanted to see him die, let alone the way they did it like that. Whack, in my personal opinion. And also, like, us just like, you know, exploring, you know, the where the Talokan people lived, and us seeing that beautiful, the music that was playing in that sequence too, where like Shuri is seeing, you know, the home of the Talokan people for the first time, and we see like the kind of their crown jewel of where they live, and it's vibranium. That music is playing, and it's like their sun. He brought the sun to their people. It's beautiful. I mean, the story is just beautiful, and I'm sorry. I know a lot of people. There's like a weird, like, debate going on right now of like if Namor was a good villain or not. He was a damn good villain. He had every right. Where I thought that why he did what he did, he did what he did. Him being angry at Wakanda for, you know, outing themselves about being a powerhouse and having vibranium and not sharing their vibranium like they said they would, and then kind of making it where humans would scour the earth, scour the oceans for vibranium, leading them to, you know, find the Talokan people that didn't want to be discovered, that didn't go out to make it where the people would know they existed. He had every right to be pissed about that, because them not giving vibranium opened the door where they almost got discovered. How they did get discovered at this point. So he had every right, because he saw, since he was there from the earliest ages of seeing slavery, he had every right to be pissed, because he didn't want his people to be enslaved and all that stuff, or he didn't want his people to be killed and for the power that they had. He had every right to be angry at T'Challa and passing that anger, and since T'Challa wasn't there anymore, passing it to the leader of Wakanda, I can't remember, Queen Amanda, and also you know, Shuri. He had every right to be angry at them, and angry at the fact of, you know, their stupidity of coming out. When, I mean, like I said, I like that the fact that they wanted to open their borders to the world and help the world out, but the fact that they went back on the fact of them saying that they were going to share their resources of vibranium, and then them not doing it, opened the door for them going to finding Riri at MIT to build a vibranium detector that led them to find the Talokan people. I thought he had good motivation on why he did what he did, and I thought he was a damn good villain. Villains that have good motivations, that have layers, are good villains, and he's a good villain. And I think the action in this movie is really, really good, especially the action sequence where, you know, Shuri and Okoye are trying to save Riri from being taken by the government. I thought was really, really cool, and that led into the fight on the bridge between Okoye and Atuma, fighting for the first time. Love that fight sequence. The fight sequence at the end where Shuri gets, I mean, the best sequence of them all is when Shuri drops down in her Black Panther suit and the music is playing. I get chills every time I listen to that song in the gym. It strengthens me. I swear it does. It goes to peak. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people might say, Zach, you're crazy. This movie is goes to meh, or this movie just goes to great. For me, it goes to peak. It goes to peak. I know a lot of people don't love this movie. I know a lot of people think Black Panther 1 is better than this movie. I don't feel that way. I think both of those movies to get to go to peak. You know what I mean? I think they both get to go to peak. That's why I'm doing it, where like I'm just putting it like this. I'm not actually saying this goes in front of this goes in front of that. Peak. Just peak. Thor Love and Thunder, I'm thinking about it right on my head. I think Thor Love and Thunder, I'm going to be honest, I think goes to meh. I hate to do it, and I love the idea behind it, I love watching it. Like I said, meh's not terrible, meh's not bad. It's just going to meh. I think that's pretty fair. I don't see myself really rewatching this movie, and it sucks because this movie had so much potential of giving Gorr actually like really being really like actually seeing him murder gods and really having him as like a really good villain. It's going to meh. The more I think about it, it's going to meh. And guess what else is going to meh? Quantumania is going to meh. I know I said I really liked it when it came out, but I'm giving it meh. I haven't really watched it as many times as you know what I mean, as I thought I would after I saw it in the theaters, and I really enjoyed it. I just think it's okay. Meh's like okay. I think it's okay. Okay, not bad, but okay. It's going on okay. Kang saves the movie for me, and the world building of the Quantumania of the Quantum Realm. It saves the movie where it gets to go in meh. Sue me. I don't know what else to say. But okay, so Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I am giving peak. I'm giving peak because the soundtrack, the villain of the High Evolutionary, the background story, and the conclusion, the Rocket story. I mean, the one shot at the end of the movie. I know a lot of people for this is what is giving people hope for James Gunn's universe. I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid. I'm not letting this fucking masterpiece of a movie depict how he's gonna do good over at DC. Fuck no, I'm not oblivious. I'm not doing that. So that trailer for Superman Legacy has to wow me. It has to make me feel like I have some trust in him, because as of right now, I do not. You can't let his projects over here depict, oh, he's gonna do good over there. I think if anything has taught us anything, the Russo brothers doing great over here didn't depict how they did outside the Marvel universe. I'm sorry. And I mean, so for some people, you might say, well, I liked Peacemaker, or I liked the Suicide Squad. Okay. That's also your opinion, and this is my opinion, and I didn't like the Suicide Squad, and I thought I liked Peacemaker, but it doesn't have rewatchability. See what I'm saying? He has to wow me, and Superman is my favorite character of DC. I said it in my room tour. Superman is my dude from DC. It's Superman, it's Cap, and Spider-Man for Marvel. So that's what I'm saying. He can't fuck this up. And I guess it's Batman 2 for DC, but Superman's my main guy. Same as how like Cap is my main dude over at Marvel, and then Spider-Man and it's Batman over there. So like those are my second two. But those are my main dudes for Marvel and DC, and if he fucks this up, I'm gonna be pissed. But like I said, peak. This goes to peak for sure. For sure. I have also, to clarify, I actually have the vinyl for Guardians of the Galaxy. I have the soundtrack for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And I also have it for Volume 1 and I think Volume 2. I love the soundtracks for Guardians movies. They're great. They're great. We're getting to the end here, guys. We're at the last two movies, which of course is the Marvels, and of course Deadpool and Wolverine. You already know. If you know me, Marvels is going peak. Sorry, I know a lot of you guys hate to say it. A lot of people, whether I'm not saying it's directly at you guys, but a lot of people hate women. Hate to say it, and that's why they just didn't like this movie, because it was women-based. It is true, whether you want to be oblivious or not. A lot of people hated on this movie because it was women-led, which is ridiculous. I went into this movie being very open-minded. I really liked what the Russo brothers did with Carol in Avengers Infinity War and also Avengers Endgame, and I loved the way she looked and the vibes I was getting from the Marvel's trailer. I was like, oh my god, I actually think Brie is actually really like honing this character. I feel like she's really feeling comfortable with this character now. So I was like, oh my god, I'm really loving the vibes I'm getting from this trailer. And then, of course, as you all know, I did not like Miss Marvel the show, but I really liked the character of Kamala Khan, and I was interested to see where that character was going to go. And I was like, I think under writing, the character will be a lot better with a different writer, and I was correct. I loved Kamala in this movie. Brie really honed this character in the Marvels, and also Monica Rambeau, which of course is the daughter of Maria Rambeau from the Captain Marvel 1 movie. Monica Rambeau I really love. I really love that character in WandaVision, so I wasn't shocked that I was gonna love this character in the Marvels. This movie hit Dar-Ben, I know a lot of people think in the recent years of Marvel villains, people think she's a shit villain. I thought she was a great villain. She had great motivations for what she was doing, and she was all doing it for her homeworld, for the Kree, which of course I think it's called, their Kree homeworld is called, why am I blanking? I don't know what the Kree homeworld is called. It's gonna kill me. I gotta search this up. Give me a minute, guys. I want to make sure I get this right. Kree homeworld, Marvel. No, okay. Kree Marvel. What's their homeworld called? Okay, Kree. No, Kree homeworld. Home planet. Okay, there we go. Alien race. Okay, okay. Hala. She wanted to save Hala, so that's why she was taking resources from other planets. Because Carol, since she destroyed the intelligence, I think it's called the Great Intelligence or the Intelligence. I'm not quite sure what it's called. Like their AI there. She essentially destroyed their sun, and their resources by her destroying the I think it's called the Intelligence, the Great Intelligence, whatever. And I thought she had good motivations on why she was doing what she was doing. She did it in the wrong way, but she had great motivations to help her people out. Like I said, when villains have great motivations on why they're doing what they're doing, I'm gonna give them the one up. And I thought just the look of this movie, I thought this movie was super fun. I really enjoyed these characters more in this movie than I did in their previous standalone projects, except like I said, except Monica. I really enjoyed what she was doing in her movies, and I enjoyed Captain Marvel and the two Russo brothers, Infinity War and Endgame. But like I said, or mainly Endgame, because she wasn't really in Infinity War until the end of her movie, where she had the end credit to go into no, is that, I think I have that wrong, because Captain Marvel came out after Infinity War, that went into into Endgame. There we go. When her end credit went into Endgame, I think the Russos dealt with her very, very well. And I just love that character now. I can't wait to see more of Captain Marvel. I can't wait to see more of Kamala Khan. I can't wait to see more of Monica Rambeau, especially how that movie ended, where it's going into a Secret Wars event where Monica Rambeau is stuck on a different planet of different X-Men. Super excited with her mom that's an X-Men. So I'm super excited. I love that movie. It's peaked me. Love the fighting. I love the power switching. People didn't give this movie a chance because, one, they hated women. Or people didn't give this movie a chance because they didn't like their previous, kind of outings as the character, whether it be in their shows, whether it be in like crossover movies, or whether it be in their respectable movies. They didn't like it, which I can respect that take, that they didn't want to do it because they didn't like their first appearances in all these other projects that they watched. I respect that take. Now, I don't respect people just hating on this movie because they don't like women, women-led movies, or they just don't like women. You know what I mean? I don't respect that take at all. But they don't want to see it because whatever, I respect that take, but I do think you should give things a chance. I gave this movie a chance, even though I didn't like a lot of their outings as in their respectable projects and crossovers. But I ended up really enjoying this movie. This is definitely one of the better movies I think Marvel's done as of recently. I think, you know what I mean? I do like this movie. I'm gonna be honest, I like this movie, I think, more than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I know I'm crazy probably for saying that, but I think I would enjoy rewatching this movie more than the Guardians of the Galaxy, because Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is depressing. As much as it is cool with the action, it is depressing. And I think that this movie is just pure fun and great with the action. I choose that over Guardians 3. I don't know if you guys feel that way. Let me know down in the comment section below. Like I said, mind you guys, this is my ranking. I want to hear yours down in the chat or down in the comment section. Let me know. And we're gonna do a lot of these next rankings definitely live, so stay tuned for that. Like, I'm planning on probably doing the Disney Plus ranking probably live. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. But the next one we got, of course, the last one is Deadpool and Wolverine, and you already know. Peak. Deadpool and Wolverine is peak, baby. And that's kind of the layout we got. Of course, I don't even need to explain for Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm not even gonna explain. Not even gonna explain. You know. That one especially, I shouldn't even have to explain. Peak. Simple as that. Not great, not meh, not bad, not really bad. Peak. That's it. guys, that was it. That was my ranking of all of the MCU movies. Hope you guys enjoyed this ranking video. I'm very glad that I did it. Of course, this is the view of all of the Marvel movies. It's crazy I finally did this. I've been waiting to do this. I thought I had to make like my own template, but I actually found this website. It's called Tier Maker. So they have a whole bunch of like photos ready, a whole bunch of like was it rank names ready for like great. I made the peak, I made the great, I made the meh, I made bad, I made really bad. I made those, but you can edit them. Some of them are already made where you can just have them preset, like S, A, B, T, whatever. Like if you want to have it like that, some of them are set like that, or you can edit these. Really, really cool. And also you can edit it where you can actually put these in the right order. These are movable where you can put these in like chronological order if you want to. I have these in chronological order of all the Disney Plus shows coming out, like I said, and all the like Fox movies and how like I think of how they came out. Or like the, or the trilogy based of like the order that they were in. I don't think I have them on how they directly came out. Whatever, but I have them in like how they go, like X-Men 1, X-Men 2, X-Men 3, like that, not how they were released. But like I said, stay tuned for more. I want to do a Marvel Disney Plus show one with the Netflix stuff added. Sorry guys, I'm burping a lot, but I also want to do a Fox movie ranking of all the Fox movies, like the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Deadpool. I want to do those, and then I want to do a Spider-Man movie one eventually with all like like Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Venom Last Dance, Morbius, Madam Web, Craven, and the works like there. I want to do that as well. So stay tuned for those. Those are going to be coming. I want to do the Disney Plus one live. I think that one will be really fun to do. The Disney Plus Marvel show one. So stay tuned for that. Let me know if you guys want me to do that live, or if you guys want another video. Let me know what you guys prefer. I definitely, if I do the Disney Plus TV show one live, I won't be really like looking at the chat too much. I definitely don't want anybody to try to sway my opinion on where I'm ranking these. Like at the end of the day, this is my ranking of where I put things, but I of course I would want to hear where you guys would put it in the live chat if I do a live stream. I would want to hear where you guys put it, or what you guys think of where I'm putting it. Like how you guys, if you guys think that is like where it should go. Of course I'm going to keep it where it's at, but like I would want to know where would you put it? You know what I mean? So definitely, like, that's what I would be doing if I do it live, but I actually like doing these recorded ones. I think this was a damn good ranking. I had really fun doing this, and I hopefully will be doing more of these, like, every Tuesday. I'd like to do these on Tuesday, but let me know what you guys think. But as always, guys, that was my ranking of all the MCU movies. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.